You finally did it. You're lying in bed, lights off, phone 2 inches from your face. You open your banking app, heart pounding just a little, and there it is. $0. That credit card that haunted you for 3 years? Gone. The student loan that felt like a toxic ex? Finished. Car loan? Dead. You stare at the screen like it might glitch and say, just kidding. You feel lighter, like someone quietly turned gravity down by 20%. You did the thing. You sacrificed. You skipped dinners. You said no to trips. You survived the I can't right now phase. You hit the number. And for about 48 hours, life feels different. Then something weird happens. Your inbox starts filling up with pre-approved offers. Your credit score jumps, and suddenly you qualify for better cards. Your car starts making a suspicious noise. Your friend texts you about a business opportunity. Your brain whispers, "You've been disciplined for so long. You deserve something." And just like that, the game changes. Because here's the catch. Paying off debt feels like crossing a finish line. But it's not a finish line. It's a floor. And most people treat it like a victory lap. So they relax, they upgrade, they just this once themselves back into payments. The system doesn't celebrate your freedom. It recalibrates. It says, oh, look, you're stable now. Want to borrow again? Hitting zero feels like winning. But the rules change the moment you get there. And if you don't adjust, you slowly slide back to where you started. Not because you're bad with money, because the game was never about the number. It was about what you do after it. Let's talk about the trap. Debt payoff mode is intense. It's war. You cut expenses, you track everything, you hustle, you focus. You're sprinting toward a visible finish line. It's like running a marathon where someone promises, at mile 26, the pain stops. So you push. But here's the problem. When you finally cross that line, no one hands you a plan for what comes next. You've been living in scarcity mode. Now, suddenly, there's extra cash flow. An extra $300, $800, maybe $1,500 a month. And your brain, which has been starved for years, goes, relief, reward, recovery. This is called spending rebound. It's almost universal. According to surveys from the Federal Reserve, a huge percentage of Americans struggle to cover a $400 emergency. That's not because they're lazy. It's because when pressure eases, behavior shifts. You've been gripping the steering wheel so tightly, when the road straightens out, you loosen your hands. And that's when the car drifts. You think paying off debt fixed the problem, but debt was just the symptom. The real issue was the system around your money. Think of it like this. Debt payoff is removing weeds from a garden, but if you don't plant anything, weeds come back. The finish line mindset is the mistake. You treated it like a race. It was actually a foundation. And you're not broken if you've drifted before. That's almost everyone. Banks know it, credit card companies know it, car dealerships definitely know it. The system is tuned so most people never wander too far from monthly payments. You pay it off, they offer you flexibility. You get disciplined, they offer you rewards. You stabilize, they offer you upgrades. It's not personal, it's profitable. My name is Red. I'm obsessed with how money actually works. Not the Instagram version, not the guru version, the behind-the-scenes version. Quick disclaimer, this is education and entertainment only. I'm not your financial advisor. I don't know your full situation. Talk to a qualified professional before making big money moves. Cool? Let's get into phase 2, the part nobody talks about. Phase 1 is simple. You're in pain. Debt is heavy. You want it gone. Your identity becomes, I'm someone getting out. Everything is structured around elimination. Every extra dollar has one job: destroy balance. Clean, clear, focused. Phase 2 is messy. The debt's gone, but the habits, emotions, and environment, still there. Here's what shifts psychologically. 1, you feel safe for the first time in years. 2, you feel deserving. 3, you feel behind compared to others. Safety lowers urgency. Deserving justifies spending. Feeling behind pushes upgrades. That combination is dangerous. Now add external incentives. Banks see you as lower risk. Your credit score improves. You get better limits, better rates, exclusive offers. Translation, you are now a high-quality borrower. Apps start nudging you toward investing, trading, upgrading. Buy now, pay later feels harmless because technically you don't need it. And your brain says, it's fine. I've proven I'm responsible. This is where lifestyle creep sneaks in. Not dramatically, quietly. You go from used car to newer car, from small apartment to a bit more space, from basic phone to premium. Individually, reasonable. Collectively, you just rebuilt the cage, but with softer walls now. The biggest trap? Reward spending after scarcity. When you've been deprived, even disciplined spending feels like rebellion. You're not trying to sabotage yourself. You're trying to rebalance emotionally. But here's the thing. If every extra dollar goes toward comfort instead of structure, you stall. You don't go backward fast. You just stop moving forward. And stalled is dangerous because inflation doesn't stall. Opportunities don't stall. Time definitely doesn't stall. Let's look at the math. Say you free up $800 a month after debt payoff. If you invest $800 a month at a conservative 7% annual return for 20 years, that's roughly $400,000 plus. Not because you're genius, because compounding is boring and powerful. Now imagine you instead absorb that $800 into lifestyle upgrades. Your life feels nicer, but 20 years later, you have comfort, not options. Research from firms like Vanguard consistently shows that long-term investors who stick to simple, low-cost strategies outperform those who chase performance. And behavior studies show something else, the behavior gap. Average investors underperform the funds they invest in, sometimes by 1 to 2% per year because they move in and out emotionally. 1 to 2% sounds tiny. Over 30 years, that's tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Boring wins, stable wins, slow wins. Exciting usually loses. And after debt payoff, you are extremely vulnerable to exciting because you finally feel powerful. Let me tell you about Alex and Jordan. Alex paid off $35,000 in debt over 4 years. It was brutal. When Alex hit zero, they felt unstoppable. They upgraded apartments, bought a newer car, took the vacation they'd postponed. Nothing insane, just normal. The extra $900 a month disappeared into better living. 2 years later, Alex wasn't drowning, but they weren't building either. Net worth barely moved. Emergency fund small, investments inconsistent. When a job scare hit, anxiety came back fast. Debt-free, but still fragile. Now Jordan. Jordan also paid off $30,000 plus. Same grind, same relief, but Jordan made one decision immediately. The money that used to go to debt, it still has a job. First, Jordan built a 6-month emergency fund, non-negotiable. Then automated investments the same week the last payment cleared. Did Jordan upgrade life a little? Yes, but with rules. Income increases funded lifestyle. Debt freedom cash flow built assets. 5 years later, Jordan's net worth crossed 6 figures. Not because of crypto luck, not because of a startup, because the floor was protected. According to Federal Reserve data, Households with emergency savings are dramatically less likely to fall back into high-interest debt after a financial shock. That's not motivational fluff. That's math and probability. Alex chased relief. Jordan built resilience. Same starting point, different structure. So, what do you actually do? Here's the playbook. 1. Set the floor. The day your last debt payment clears, define your minimum cash buffer. 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. Not lifestyle, survival. That's your floor. Protect it like oxygen. 2. Keep the payment alive. Whatever you were paying toward debt, automate it somewhere else immediately. Investment account, retirement account, index fund. Don't let that money hit your checking account and start feeling available. 3. Build a growth